Hello, I'm Kevin O'Sullivan and this is Heaven and Hell. You may have noticed I'm not Mike Graham. He will be back next week, but in the meantime, you'll have to put up with me. Israel at war. The world changed this week when Hamas, the terrorist organization, invaded Israel, innocent Israel, and committed the most appalling atrocities. We're hearing stories of babies being beheaded, women being raped, people being executed on their own doorsteps. Hamas knocking on the door, you open your door, they stick a bullet straight through your head. They shot 260 revelers at a pop concert, shot them dead in a hail of bullets. Israel has vowed to exact terrible revenge, and it will. And the world will watch as the Gaza Strip, in my view, will be razed to the ground. 2.3 million people, Palestinians, squeezed into the most densely populated strip of land on the face of the planet. Already, hundreds of thousands of those Palestinians have been made homeless by the merciless rain of bombing from Israel as it retaliates justifiably for the appalling, inhuman atrocities of Hamas. Now, what we will see in the weeks and months to come, God only knows, but we hope and pray that somehow or other some kind of peace and harmony can come out of this situation. But for the time being, there will be no peace, there will be no harmony, there will be horror on the face of the earth, and we can only imagine what's coming our way. Keir's keynote speech. In the wonderful world of politics, there's only one thing worse than a speech by a Prime Minister. And that's a speech by someone who wants to be the Prime Minister. And this week we were assailed by Keir Starmer, Sir Keir Starmer's speech at the Labour Party conference in Liverpool. It was 1 hour of nothingness, a completely empty pile of word soup in which he talked about building 1.5 million new homes, not on the green belt, not on the brown belt, but on the grey belt. Building them not where developers want to build them, but where people want to. But what on earth was he talking about? Apart from that, you got nothing. It was just rah, rah, rah. I'm going to be the next Prime Minister. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And I'll tell you what he didn't mention in his entire speech, 1 hour, he never mentioned the migrant crisis or the boats coming across the channel, because he's got no idea how to solve that. You want to know about hell? 60 minutes of Keir Starmer saying nothing. That was sheer hell for me. Tarnishing Tom's legacy. This week, an astonishing interview by Piers Morgan right here on TalkTV revealed that all is not well in the world of Sir Tom, who of course has left us now. His daughter, Hannah Ingram-Moore, set up a charity in her father's name and basically started paying herself £80,000 a year, which didn't go down well. She bought herself a nice mansion in the home counties, installed an expensive spa complex, and we're all saying, where's this money coming from? We think it's coming from us. She denied it, she denied it, she denied it, but now she has confessed to Piers Morgan to pocketing £800,000 worth of what should have been charity money. Needless to say, out of respect to Sir Tom, to Captain Tom, this is utter sheer hell. Harry the hypocrite. Once again, Harry and Meghan have arrived in Manhattan. Every time they go to New York, something seems to happen. Last time they went, if you remember, they told of their terror as they were pursued through the streets of Manhattan by a massive crowd of paparazzi at high speed. The mayor of Manhattan immediately pointed out that if that was a high-speed chase, it was the first time in the history of New York cars had managed to drive fast. So it wasn't a high-speed chase, it wasn't even a chase, it turned out. Now they've gone back for a very good cause, mental health. Big up to them for that. Anyway, they got to Manhattan, their favourite place, and they had to go 200 yards from where they were staying to the mental health event. 200 yards, 200 meters if you like in old money, new money. Why did they, please explain to me, why did they need 7 cars to do that? A convoy of 7 cars to go 200 yards. 200 yards, 7 cars. I thought they were interested in saving the planet. I thought they were interested in greenery. How does that help save the planet? Polluting it with 7 cars. Honestly, this is hypocrisy, hellish hypocrisy, taking that to a new level. Absolutely appalling. Harry and Meghan, A grade, Olympic class, industrial scale, hypocrites. Holly's had enough. Bombshell news in the wonderful world of showbiz this week as out of the blue, Holly Willoughby suddenly announced she's quitting this morning after 14 years. I don't blame her. I think this is good news for her, and it's good news for This Morning, and it's good news for ITV. They couldn't carry on like this. Think about what she's had to suffer, endure, go through in the last couple of turbulent years. Think about it. There was, of course, Q-Gate, where her and her then co-star Philip Schofield jumped the queue to see the Queen's coffin. You know, don't do that in Britain. Do not jump a queue. That suddenly hit them hard as 2 stars. They went from heroes to zeros. The people hated them for that. That hit This Morning hard. Then, of course, there was the Philip Schofield saga where he had to confess to an inappropriate affair with a much younger male colleague. She was caught up in that scandal. That didn't do her very well. Anyway, she came back after the summer break a couple of months ago, September I think it was. You know, the big fanfare, they put on a big thing, and, you know, I am the dancing queen. They did a big musical number as if it was the return of the wonderful queen who would save the show. Guess what? The ratings went down. And they've been extremely modest ever since. Meanwhile, ITV are pledging they're going to do a total revamp of This Morning, which they probably should have done in the first place. Because just saying, oh, Phil's gone, here's Holly, wasn't good enough. It wasn't working. So they're doing a revamp. I think that's probably good for ITV. Personally, I think they should think about axing This Morning. Maybe it's past its sell-by date after all these years. But good news for Holly. She's got her life back. She will continue to have a golden career. There's no doubt about that. Good news for ITV. They needed that. They need to do something about This Morning. Good news all round. Happy days. Welcome to heaven. That's it for another edition of Heaven and Hell. I'm sure Mike Graham will be back. In the meantime, you've been an amazing audience. I've been Kevin O'Sullivan. Stay cool.